Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Jenny. I'm from JennyCardDesigns. My YouTube channel contains content that is intended to share paper crafting, tutorials, and inspiration with all of you. I hope that you enjoy. Okay, today's video is another creative inspiration. This is an 8.5 by 11 scrapbook layout. And this is my creative inspiration book. It's full of layouts and inspirational quotes that I've designed and written or printed or stamped. Here's a look at the book so far. So today we're going to be doing a landscape layout for this empty page on the left hand side of my book here. So here are the products that we'll be using. I've got 3 different JennyCardDesigns stamp sets. I'll have everything listed in the description down below. And I've got a bunch of circle layering dies to create a nice little scallop for my quote for today. So I've got some JennyCardDesigns in the navy cardstock, and as per my usual, I am going to cut the center of this cardstock out so that I can continue to use it throughout my project and save whatever I can. So I've just got a self-healing cutting mat, a metal ruler, and a sharp craft knife, and I'm just going to cut out a rectangle out of the center of this cardstock. Alright, and then I've got a piece of silver metallic cardstock, and this is just a matte metallic, and I'm going to trim that down so that it'll fit in the center of my in the navy cardstock. And looking good. Okay, and I'm going to grab some white cardstock, and this is going to be for my stamping. I will cut that up so that layers nicely with the silver metallic cardstock. And then I need to also cut out a piece out of the center of this silver metallic cardstock. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to grab my craft knife and make some quick cuts in the center of this. It doesn't need to be straight. I just need a piece big enough for one of my circle layers. So I'll take that along with a piece of the in the navy cardstock for my scallop circle, and a piece of white cardstock for my layer, which I'll be stamping my sentiment on. And I just cut out whatever I need from these pieces of cardstock so that I don't have any waste, and I have some leftover pieces for future projects when I need them. I'll get all of my circles taped up onto my die cutting plate and run that through my Gemini Junior die cutting machine. And this is what we've got. We've got this little medallion with a little in the navy scalloped edge, and I think that's really cute, and that's what I'm going to stamp my sentiment on. Let's move over to do some stamping. I've got a bunch of stamps loaded up onto some acrylic blocks, and I've got a bunch of JennyCardDesigns ink here. I've got grass green, dusty rose, innocent pink, powder blue, and in the navy. And this in the navy coordinates beautifully with the JennyCardDesigns in the navy cardstock that we're using for our project today. It's an exact match. So I'm going to grab the foam pad out of my MISTI. I'm going to use that to do my stamping on so that I get a nice impression when stamping. So I grabbed my cardstock, and I'm using JennyCardDesigns Pure Luxury 110 pound heavyweight cardstock. This is a nice smooth cardstock, and it's great for stamping. So I'm going to take the large rose from one of the sets, and I'm going to stamp that 3 times with powder blue ink. And I'm going to rotate it around so that it's not in the same orientation each time. And then I'm going to grab some leaves, and I'm just kind of mixing and matching, stamping with the grass green and the powder blue and some of the foliage, and trying to create a nice floral arrangement. And then here is the little step up that I'm going to do. I'm taking that in the navy ink and that large rose, and I'm going to stamp over top of the flowers that I've already stamped, and I'm going to make sure that I turn them around so that they're not in the same orientation, so you can kind of see a little bit of a shadow layer behind it. I think it really gives some nice depth and interest to those roses. I really like the way it looks. So I'm going to continue to add some more floral greenery, and then I added a little bit of that little sprig in pink just to bring some pink into there. And I really think this looks so pretty. It's such a beautiful little floral arrangement. I'm taking the smaller rose, and I'm going to stamp that with innocent pink ink and do the same thing. I'm going to stamp some foliage with the grass green ink, some leaves, and a little bit of powder blue here and there, and just really filling out this floral design, creating some really fun interest. And then I'm going to take that same rose and take the dusty rose ink, turn my stamp a little bit and stamp that over top of the roses that are stamped in Innocent Pink. So it does the same thing. It gives us this really nice shadow effect in behind. So I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing. I'm going to just fill in my little background doing the same technique, stamping with the light color and then the dark color over top, and just filling in wherever I think a little bit of floral arrangement will look nice, leaving some white space too. And then I stamp some of the flowers off the edge so that it looks like it was cut from a patterned piece of paper. Here's a close-up look at what we've got so far. This is so pretty. I really like the look of this. You can really see those layers of color in behind the roses, and I think it was so fun. I did the same thing with that little spriggy, and I added pink and blue in behind the green sprig, so I think it looks really pretty. All right, I've got my sentiment from the JennyCardDesigns Lettered and Lovely stamp set. I'm going to ink that up with the same in the navy ink and stamp that on my little white circle that I've got cut out. And then I'm going to layer that up so it creates this beautiful little medallion that we're going to pop in the center of our floral panel. So I'm going to start adhering things together. I've got my in the navy cardstock and my silver cardstock, and then I'll adhere down my floral pattern paper. This is super pretty. I really like the way this turned out. Okay, so I've got my medallion. I'm going to adhere that down. I just felt like it needed something to sit on, so I grabbed one of my peel-offs and I adhered that down and then put my medallion right in the center of that. And that is going to be it for this layout. Okay, so I'm going to sign the back of this, and I flip it over and realize this is not going to work. So I added a piece of white cardstock to the back of my panel to cover up all that mess, and then trimmed off any excess with some scissors so that you can't see that white at all. And then I can sign the back. And today is May 5th, 2020, and JennyCardDesigns, that's me. And let's slip it into our little book. Grabbing my creative inspiration book and opening it up to the page where this is going to go. And now let's take this quote, "Life is tough, my darling, but so are you." And we will slip that into our creative inspiration book. And that is it for today's video. Thank you so much for stopping by and spending a little bit of your time with me here today. I had fun creating this layout, and I hope that you enjoy this series. Just kind of getting a little pick-me-up and having some fun, doing something different, and reminding ourselves to stay crafty and creative in your space so that you don't go crazy, because that is truly a possibility at this point. So I need to get outside and get some sunlight. I'm headed out with my family for a nice little walk. And I'm sure the rest of you do that also multiple times in a day, because what else can we do? So let's do that. Let's not go crazy, go for a walk, and have yourself a lovely day. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!